السلام عليكم شباب. كيف الحال؟ بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. طيب, we'll talk about co-op. Co-op is our internship is the biggest opportunity you have to practice what you've been studying in the university. And it's also the best time to actually end up getting a job. If you do a good job during your co-op, it becomes a golden opportunity to get a job offer at the end. And we have, mashallah, very good examples from previous students who, mashallah, did an awesome job that the company loved what they did and they offered them a job offer at the end. طبعا, hopefully, inshallah, you also have other part-time jobs that you had previously that would even add to this. The official training during your academic performance, your academic journey is the co-op and the internship. Right, so I'll talk about some important things I want you to keep in mind since I'm your advisor. Inshallah, if you have any questions, by all means, get in touch. Besides, now we won't get into the choice of the company, etc. I'm assuming you're already working, right? Because that has its own discussion, right? But in general, you don't want to wait till the co-op comes before you start finding companies. You should be ahead of time, like 6 months before, working on it and trying to secure actually more than one option before you choose what's the best option for you to go with. But again, I'm not going to go there, and I would assume you're already in the company and you already started work. It goes without saying, right? And dress formally, at least, depending on the kind of company you're in, and be punctual, be on time. The first thing that companies check on for trainees and employees in general, right, is how punctual you are with your time, right? Do you come on time? Do you leave on time? You could be working online. That's a bit of a story, but in general, still, time matters a lot for companies. Moving on, you'll be assigned things to do. Okay? And even if you do end up not being assigned enough work, don't just wait. Don't be passive. You go search for work. Ask. If it gets a little more serious, definitely contact me as your advisor to get to see if we could do something. But in general, don't just, some companies, not a lot, but some may just, give you some very routine work and keep you on the side. But in general, alhamdulillah, the experience has been good that companies really give you a good amount of work you barely manage also. So usually we don't have a problem, but it can happen. One of the important things I always also tell students is that you need to learn from everyone there. And you need to ask a lot of questions. Don't bug people. Right? You have to still do it in an intelligent way, an emotionally intelligent way, right? But in general, you want to learn, right? You're there to learn, right? You're training. You don't know these things, and you want to know, hey, why are you doing it here? Why do we do this? How do we do that? Right? Why are we doing it this way? Etc. Obviously, you have a supervisor who you would be and you're reporting to, and you'd be probably asking most of your questions. But again, given that he's probably or she's probably someone who's very busy, you still want to ask your colleagues, the people you work with, anyone around, really. You could learn a lot. One of the important things that you need to do during your co-op is to keep records. Keep records of the work you do, and keep records of the things that you are required then to submit in your progress reports. So keep a log of the activities, the tasks, etc. that you go through. It's preferable that you do this on a daily basis. But if you really can't, at least every few days you do, maximum like every week. So you keep a log there. You're keeping track of what you're doing. The details matter. If I don't just run through it, but the details matter. But sometimes you might say, well, I don't have time to write, we get busy. Fine. Record it on a voice memo, right? As a voice memo, so that at least when you start writing, you have that ready, right? Because again, as I said, the details matter. As we move on, when we think of the progress report, it's a progress report of what you've done, basically an introduction to the company, and then where you are in the company, right? Perhaps create an organization chart. If they don't have one, create one, a simple one, and where you are in that organization chart, what's your title, etc. And then basically tell us the things that you started doing and working on, projects, tasks, etc. You also want to keep samples of the work that you do. I do understand that there's some confidentiality there and you can't show everything, but at least we want to see some of the things that you have done. This could be in the appendix or could be in some parts of the report, especially if it's something public. And we have a good chunk of our students who work on social media. If the social media is public, right? You already did this post for them and you created this copyright and you created this campaign, etc. It's already there, it's public, right? Tell us about it, show us what it looks like, right? And something I noticed that we tend to lose sight of is that if you're, for example, working on campaigns, don't just, okay, wallahi, here's what he did and here's what it is, and it's over. Yeah, show us what happened. What was the result? What did you learn from it? What challenges is a big part of things that you will come across, whether directly in work or interpersonal issues. The industry has its own problems. All of these things you want to keep log of. Another major thing that you need to work on is a business problem. A business problem, in general, is like, besides, this is something that's more of an initiative from you. It is not something that usually the company would give you, but you go ask for it. So first of all, this is something that doesn't come early on. We're saying maybe after like 2 months of work, you start now knowing how things work. Now you start looking for, okay, wallahi, this seems to be a problem worth investigating. A business problem that's worth researching and finding solutions to or recommendations, etc. You could find several, maybe think of 3, and then you could discuss them with me, and then we could hone in on what is it that you want to tackle. Obviously, feel free to ask your supervisor for problems that you can start tackling, other colleagues present at work, etc. What has been, we've been years doing this thing and it's not working. Oh, wallahi, is there a better way of doing this? Why does that happen? Or why don't we measure the effect of all these campaigns that we're doing? And we're making all these posts, does it even matter, right? Look at all these things, right? Because these will be, the business problem section is a final section kind of in your report besides the work that you're doing for the company. So it's more of an initiative that you're taking with the company to do what is it that you want to do. When it comes to submitting the progress reports, in general, you have to submit 3 progress reports, right? Besides the final report at the end. Make sure you abide by deadlines. The university is very strict on this. So make sure you upload it on Blackboard and let me know. And remember, I did tell you that I have a shared G Drive folder for each one of you. So you'll drop a PDF copy of your progress reports there. It's just easier for both of us, but you still have to have that copy in Blackboard so that the university gets to see it. Okay, so deadlines matter a lot because they do take off marks if you're late. So you want to make sure that that's something you don't want to miss. Besides that, as I said, details matter. When you're writing the report, right, include figures, tables, pictures, screenshots of a post or something that you've created. And make sure in the progress report, and also, of course, finally in the final report, you want to make sure that you have all the table of contents. طبعا ال progress report doesn't quite, you don't have to have a table of contents. It's preferable, but you don't have to. But try to have an executive summary there. And here's the thing, at the end, you'll be submitting a final report. And the final report is really a combination of all these three progress reports with the business problem, right? The more you do it, the more organized you are in all of this, the easier it is when it comes to finalizing the final report, which is really a combination of all the things that you have done. But make sure you include things like challenges you faced and final things you learned through your experience. The report has certain sections and field co-op guideline. Let me upload it here. I'm not going to go through it, but I do want you to at least have a look at it. Here you can see here the co-op work handbook. It has a lot of details, right? Go through it, right? Go check it out, especially things that you're required to do. Here's مثلا, for example, your submissions. In the final report here, I don't know if it's already here. Well, let me see. Legal different sections that you have to submit. Let me see. See, مثلا, cover page, table of contents, list of tables, list of figures. And you don't just put a picture of a figure. You have to have a title for this, right? You learned it in English 214. So make sure you do that. Formatting matters. You don't get added points for it in a way, but you'd be subtracted if you don't do it formally. And have numbers in a table: 1, 1.1, 1.2, 2, 2.1, 2.2, and so on and so forth. Again, you can take a look at this. I'll let you go through it. In general, business problem, if we go back to the business problem, it could be kind of like could be a case, could be something, as I said, could be something that has been going on there for a long time, or could be something that you've noticed. Again, spend some time. Don't just take one, this is the one I'll be tackling, but think of several ones. And of course, definitely be in touch with your supervisor. I think in general, that's it. That's what I wanted to say. But maybe a few more things, but I'm trying to make the most of it. This is, as I said, this is a golden opportunity. This is a chance for you to prove yourself and to apply what you learned. In the something very important. And this goes to in general for all co-op students, but be in touch with me. Be in touch with your co-op advisor. And I know students who thought that co-op is time that I'm out of the university. I don't care, right? All that matters is that progress report, I send it on Blackboard and it's over. That's not true. Be in touch with your professor. Yes, it's not going to be daily or weekly, but at least on a monthly basis or every 2 months or during the time of the progress report, at least make sure, especially in the beginning, right? make sure that you first tell the professor that I am in such and such company. طبعا if he gives you his cell phone, by all means, يعني WhatsApp him also, or maybe organize for a meeting on Zoom or Microsoft Teams, etc. But even then, if you can't, or if he's كذا, then at least have an email between you and him, telling him about your progress, or maybe organizing for a meeting. If you have, طبعا, obviously, if you have any problems that you face at work that you need consultation, or even specific kind of work that you're doing that you need a little more guidance, or anything that you come across that you feel you need assistance, طبعا, by all means, you can contact me. طبعا, you do have my WhatsApp, and we could always try to arrange for a meeting like this, يعني based on something we could agree on. What else? طبعا after inshallah you're done with your co-op, طبعا obviously, as we said, we learn from everyone and be very nice with everyone, right? Personality matters, right? People, now you left the job, whether you left that company, whether you're going to continue with them or not, you want them to remember you in a good way, right? So make sure you don't become a troublemaker, right? You go and they miss you. You wanna in a way be of that sort. Inshallah, we are confident that you guys are you'll do a great job, and because you're not just representing yourself, you're representing the university, you're representing us, and I'm sure inshallah you'll do a great job. Finally, we come to the co-op presentation. طبعا, you do have the final reports that you need to, as we say, compile and finalize, format, and then send to me so that I review, and then I'll give you some changes for you to work on, and then you could fix them, and then we could schedule a presentation. The final presentation, طبعا, co-op presentation usually lasts for for 20 minutes. طبعا, we might take obviously more than that, but especially for you to schedule, keep it within 20 minutes. You'll be طبعا giving us a quick intro to the company, where you are in the company, and then all the projects and the stuff that you worked on. And then you get to talk about the business problem. You also get to talk to us about the challenges you faced and the things you learned. Also, part of your report, actually, that you mentioned the courses that helped you in your co-op. What else? When you're طبعا presenting, طبعا, you want to make sure you are ready. طبعا, it could be offline or online. طبعا, you know that these days it's just online, but if it's online, make sure the camera is on, voice is good, it's scheduled ahead of time. طبعا, give the examiner and the committee member enough time to read it. Don't expect him to, okay, can we have it tomorrow or after a few days? You want to give on average 10 days or week minimum. Everyone's busy. I want you to also see the grading sheet of how you get graded in the co-op. Let me just upload that so that you get an idea of it. I think that helps you. Take a look at it. So this is the co-op grading form, your name, etc. We have two sections: the co-op final report, and then the co-op presentation. The co-op final report, analysis of the business problem, conciseness, clarity, and focus of the report, and how you write, the flow. And I do sometimes face a problem with students. It doesn't flow well. It's boring to read. Make it really exciting. And make sure it's طبعا spelling mistakes, grammar, make sure you take care of these things. The English writing and style, use of data presentations, however, is applicable. The importance of the business problem that you're trying to tackle, and the quality of the solution and the conclusion you're creating. The use of business knowledge and addressing it. You don't just, here are my suggestions. لا يا أخي, do some research. show how this applied from something that you have learned, show me evidence, maybe data that you collected, all of these things. يعني summary of طبعا your work experience definitely will be part of it, and a demonstration of يعني that you were value added to the employer. طبعا anything that you get acknowledged by your employer, that he gives you a certificate or thanks or whatever it is, you want to make sure you keep records of this. And if they do offer you a job, do let us know. You know, it's something nice to mention also in the presentation. So this has so see, you're taking, there's late penalty if you're late. The examiner طبعا is the committee member, and I'm the advisor here. The co-op presentation, engaging, complete, clear presentation within 20 minutes. Good command of English language, a logical sequence of ideas and thoughts, confidence and rapport, and ability to answer questions clearly. طبعا questions when they're being asked, طبعا be ready for them. Do a good job, and also maybe have a section in your presentation. You don't present, but you're ready to be asked these things and they're extra, right? When you need to present, when you need to show it, you show it. Maybe, oh, you know what? Yeah, I can answer more details about this. I actually have a write-up on it, or I have actually something in the presentation, but I didn't show it to you. It's in the appendix. Here it is. And take note of the questions. Take note of the comments and fix them. Fix them in the report. Fix them later on. We want to see that you care, all right? That yes, this thing matters to you. The quality طبعا of presented material, use of يعني presentation aids, يعني don't make it too dry. يعني حطوا, you know, put pictures, put something, put organization chart, show us يعني, show us it's active, and of course يعني try to train on it. يعني sometimes I notice students, يجي الكوب and he has a presentation slide, but he did not get trained on it. لا, take a dry run, present it to yourself and present it to others, your friends or so, and seek their feedback, so that when you come, you're ready and you can provide, you can deliver a great presentation. But that's in general what it is. طبعا it carries these 20 points. Progress reports, if you were late, they will take off marks here. They carry, at least in this case here, we have 50 marks. Employer evaluation, طبعا your employer will be evaluating you. That's something that will be sent to the co-op coordinator. That has points. And of course, there's the business knowledge assessment that you actually take, and that will add up finally to your co-op final grade. I hope, inshallah, that kind of summarizes it. In general, again, I hope, inshallah, you make the most of your co-op. طبعا feel free to get in touch and learn, make it a great learning journey, right? Enjoy your time there. Besides that, you know, if you do have extra time, try to also learn something on the side. And even if the company doesn't have, مثلا, let's assume, طبعا if they do have training resources, they're subscribed to a database or some company training courses or whatever it is, طبعا make sure that you take advantage of it. If not, you also want to start learning something on the side, you know, through the different MOOC courses, Coursera, edX, etc. But now طبعا يعني the massive open online courses are يعني plenty online. Try to have كده something on the side that you try to learn from. Maybe better, and if you're in digital marketing, you might want to also consider taking a nano degree in digital marketing. There's one that's offered by Udacity and NISC. That's one of the things you could do. In general, طبعا, I know I talked a lot, okay, but I hope, inshallah, I gave you an overview of what I expect from you in the co-op and how you can hopefully make the most of it. I'm sure I probably missed some things, but yeah, I hope, inshallah, I covered most of it. And definitely, طبعا, be in touch, and I hope you, inshallah, make the most of it. أتمنى لكم شباب كل التوفيق